We need to talk about Jaxson Hayes. He went nuclear the other night, 19 points, 10 rebounds. He was shooting 8 of 8 from the field, 100% field goal percentage. And here's a pretty neat stat. Jaxson Hayes at 102.5 has had a top defensive rating as a center since February 1st. So that's one of the best defensive centers in the league since February 1st. Do I think that's real? Probably not. Do I think that's a real indication of how good he is on defense? Probably not, but it's still an awesome sign as a Lakers fan. Last season, I thought Jaxson Hayes was pretty poor. I always thought of him as a foul machine that we just used to eat up minutes when AD was getting some rest. He really didn't seem to provide too much for the team last season. And to be honest, I still don't think he is an elite starting center. He can't shoot. I don't think he has the ability to stop bigger bruising centers. He's pretty lightweight, so he would have a hard time stopping Nikola Jokic, and we've seen that in the past, which is why Coach Redick has put Rui Hachimura on a guy like Nikola Jokic, so there may be ways to work around it, but he's also not some Nikola Jokic level playmaker. He really doesn't have the ball in his hands that much, but this season, he's done a good job of playing within his strengths. I think pairing with Luka and LeBron definitely helps him a lot. If you watch his highlights from the Pelicans game, it's awesome. It's 7 of 8 of his field goals were alley-oops. So he was catching lobs from Luka, LeBron, and just throwing down easy dunks. His shot selection is so easy. I don't want this to come across as a negative video towards Jaxson Hayes by any means, because what he's been doing lately has been remarkable. You got to give him a ton of credit for all of the cutting he's doing. He's always moving around. And that's one of the strengths about Jaxson Hayes, is that he's very athletic. So not every center would be able to get those lobs that LeBron and Luka are throwing and get themselves in position to have easy shots like that. So I definitely have to give Jaxson Hayes a ton of props for putting himself in the right spots and making LeBron and Luka's job easier. I also think you have to give a ton of credit to JJ Redick. He's done a great job putting Jaxson in positions to succeed. He's rarely doing too much. Like I mentioned earlier, he rarely has the ball in his hands unless he's throwing down an alley-oop slam. He's rebounding a bit more lately, but rebounding isn't his strength. He had 10 versus the Pels, but that's the most he's had in like a month. And that's pretty low for a starting center. But again, he's a unique starting center. The Lakers have a bunch of guys that can help carry that rebounding responsibility. Vanderbilt will get you some, of course, LeBron. And I've been really impressed with Luka's rebounding ability. That's not something you notice when he's on the other team, but now that he's on the Lakers and we're following him and covering him every night, I actually noticed that he's an awesome rebounder. And I think that kind of helps make up for the lack of rebounding ability that Jaxson Hayes has. I think we're seeing peak Jaxson Hayes. I know the numbers don't blow people away, but if he can keep this up, I don't think it'll be the end of the world with him at the starting center. I know it's been a concern Lakers fans have had, but his play lately hopefully is easing some of that concern. In the playoffs, it still is a little bit scary because teams up the defense in the playoffs and take advantage of guys who can't shoot or don't really have an offensive bag like Jaxson Hayes, but that's a bridge we can cross when we get there, and JJ may be able to work around that by just dropping Jaxson Hayes minutes a little bit in favor of some small ball. A lot of Lakers fans have been rejoicing about the fact that the Mark Williams trade didn't go through, and because of his health concerns, maybe it is a good thing, but I really wish he was on the team. I really wish the Lakers did have that type of big man on the team. But again, maybe we'll make it work with small ball. And for right now, I just have to appreciate how good Jaxson Hayes has been as the Lakers starting center. Last game against the Pelicans, he was amazing.